What's up, teammates? Back again. You know what? I'm not even tripping over the loss yesterday. You know why? Because the Raiders didn't lose. My Raiders didn't lose. This is not the Raiders I was looking forward to. This is not a Raiders team that I thought was going to be reeled out day one. The Raiders team I was looking for was on 12 man personnel. The Raiders team I was looking for was under center, handing off, play action, distributing to the tight ends. The Raider team that I was rooting for had a quarterback that was going to be a good game manager, whether it be Minshew or O'Connell, because that wasn't decided at that point. But the Raiders team I was looking for and that I was going to root for is not the Raiders team that we saw yesterday. And I go back to the whole running out of the shotgun thing the whole game. That was not trying to use who we are as our identity. That was an experiment to see if we can use Minshaw's mobility to make something happen when we feel like we're under duress without a line or with a weak or offensive line. And it failed. The experiment failed. Now they're going to have to try it again because they can't just pull Minshew out after the first game, especially when his numbers didn't look that bad. But that's the problem. See, the outside view is that his numbers don't look that bad. But if you get another look into it, you can see that they're the small things that Minshew does that not everybody notices that makes a huge difference in the game. Things that, I don't believe Aiden would have missed. The wide open wide receiver on the crucial third down, Aiden wouldn't have missed that. And that's why I'm not upset. What I saw out there was nothing like the team I was sold. So I'm not upset with that. Trade it in, get what you wanted. So I'm going to wait till they trade it in, and I'm going to get what I wanted. And that's going to be the Raider team that's going to be successful. Because this squad, the way it's coached, the way it's built, the way the vision for it is, that wasn't the squad that played yesterday. That wasn't the team that we were promised. That wasn't the offense that we were promised. So the team that lost yesterday is not the vision of the team that I was rooting for. If you'd have told me that my team was going to start Gardner Minshew and we was going to go shotgun for 90% of the plays and try to make Gardner Minshew be a daggone ball slinger back there with just distributing the ball, expecting him to read the field and get it to everybody on time, I wouldn't be rooting for that. I would be rooting for it to happen. I wouldn't have the expectations of winning for that. Because that's not what Minshew's strong point is. I mean, like I said yesterday, in the statistics, his stuff is supposed to be the 21 or 12 man personnel. And we saw basically none of it. I didn't sign on to root for shotgun Minshew. And that's what we got. And that's not what I think is going to win. So I'm not surprised. I shouldn't be surprised, I realized. That going with what they were doing, I should have been surprised as I was watching it, knowing that we're in the shotgun too much to actually win this game the way we want to win the game. And the Chargers want to win the game the same way we want to. We're pretty much a cookie cut team, but as far as hard defense, run the ball, and control the clock, let your quarterback do what he can do when he needs to do it. And we weren't able to hold it together like they were because we weren't able to run the ball consistently because we were running it out of shotgun all the time, which is not what we were promised the offense would be. So I'm not worried if this Raider team loses. I'm not worried if this Raider team loses next week too. I'm not worried until I get the Raider team that I was hoping for, that I was expecting, the Raider team that I believe should be successful. When that team loses, then I'll be upset. But until that team comes to the field, until that vision of the offense comes to the field, I'm not going to be satisfied with what's on the field. And if what on the field works, then it works. And I'll be happy with that. But when the truth comes and it doesn't work, because it's not going to, we can't do what we did last game. Shotgun Minshew is not going to win it for us. We got to get an under, and whether it's Aiden or Minshew or not, we got to get an under center. We got to work with the tight ends. We got to get through the line of scrimmage down to the second level with our running backs. We got to get rough. We got to be strong. We got to do what we intended to do when we've been training the whole time. And we'll see what Getsky does about that. Because this, they know now, is not the direction. And they're playing the Baltimore Ravens. So, again, it's, well, not, no, but it is a strong defense. It's a similar defense to San Diego Chargers in the fact that they're very stout defensive teams. And we're going to have our second tough battle. And we got to go with the Minshew thing. Well, let's see if we're going to go with Minshew under center this time. Hopefully, they don't try to put an offense together that works around Minshew's strength and put an offense together that works around the strength of the team. So, the Minshew experiment, I think, is over. No more shotgun Minshew. We won't see that at all next game. I think Antonio Pierce is going to have a talk with Getsky, and then we're going to go through. We can't do ball control running the ball from the shotgun. And we actually did a decent job of holding the ball because it's pretty much 50-50. But the only reason it was 50-50 is because our defense was getting their offense off the field just as quickly as we were getting pushed off the field as an offense. So it really was a game that was winnable. And if we'd had the Raider team that I was rooting for out there, I believe that there's actually no doubt that we would have won the game. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it today. Because yesterday I was saying that if the game went the same way, we can't say if Aiden would have won it or not. But I will say this. There are things in that game that we would not have had to worry about at all if Aiden was playing. And the one thing that was the most important thing that we wouldn't have to worry about at all that really killed us is the 4th and 1 play. With Minshew, there's no quarterback push. There's no quarterback sneak. That's not there with Minshew. There's not enough of Minshew to do something like that. With Aiden, that was our go-to. Aiden, 4th and 1, was his first touchdown. 4th and 1 was Aiden Cash right there. We did it all the time. It was like a foregone conclusion. We never even bothered to think about it. It was just big Aiden go behind, James. Big Aiden go behind James and we'll say, Durham Power? No, Whitehead. So, anyway, we go big AOC behind James and Whitehead, and that was 1 yard money all the time. And it usually got more than 1 yard because Aiden is 6'3", 230 at least. I mean, they say he's smaller than that on the what's his face online. That's a damn lie. You can look at the picture where Aiden O'Connell is standing next to me. It's obvious he's a much taller than Minshew, and it looks like he's heavier than I am if you look at the picture. So, Aiden O'Connell at 6'3", 220 230 going through 1 yard quarterback sneak was just disco. As you could just count on that. That was there all the time. And if we'd had if everything would have went the same way, we know at least that those fourth and ones would have been big money, and that would have cut down those turnovers that we ended up getting, and it could have extended the drives. So I will say that one thing that seems to not be a big deal is a very, very big deal when it comes down to seeing how it could play out in the game. Because people might even not think about it right now, because it was just a gimme. If it was 4th and 1, we went for it because we know we were just going to put in Big Aiden if he was going to fall forward. And if we didn't think that was going to happen for sure, we just had Big Mike shuffle behind him and then push him a little bit more to make it to get him right through. 4th and 1 was nothing. What the hell was he doing? I don't know. Why didn't he go back and look at what we were doing in 4th and 1 last year? Because it worked every time. Always. I wish I could find enough film to look back at it, because I just remember, of course I'm an Aiden fan, you guys remember that I remember every little thing he does, and I remember that. That was one of my big things that I liked the most about him. That Aiden and 1, that was much. I called it the A1 play. That's why I know it's the good one. It's Aiden for 1 yard, the A1 sauce. Anyway, he was money for the 4th and 1. We would have had that in our arsenal. That would have changed the game completely right there. So Aiden would have won the game for us. We didn't. If all things considered to be the same thing, because if Aiden would have had that same fumble, I'd have said the same thing I said about Devontae or Gardner. Those type of things happen. So the ball slip is a mistake. Late in the game, you try to make something happen, you just kind of throw the ball up there because you think that something's there, because you don't have a lot of time, and it gets tipped and it gets picked. Trying to do too much at the last second of the game, that happens too. You know what I'm saying? So I could see Aiden making those mistakes and having to defend them just same way I'm defending them for Minshew. But I do know 4th and 1 was Aiden money. And if we'd had that in the arsenal, the game would have been different. Much different, considering the turnovers that it would have saved us. And turnovers is what killed us. So that's my take on how everything went down and why I feel the way about it that I do. I feel like it would have been a completely different game if Aiden O'Connell was in there. Fine, you can say, I'm being overly Aiden positive, but I just know for sure 4th and 1 is A1 sauce. So I'm not worried about the team. When to get the product that we won on the field, or that I won on the field, or those of us who know what we practice, when we put that on the field and we start losing, well, then we need to start hope for improvement soon. And until we start doing that, there's no other reason for me to expect anything. And I'm not going to expect anything out of Minshew, because in my opinion, from the way Minshew plays, he doesn't really expect that much out of himself. I think he's so loose because he's not going in there feeling the pressure and the expectations of winning all the time. When he goes in there, the pressure's alleviated because, there's no pressure because no one expects me to do it. They're just hoping for the best. And I'm not afraid to step into the two with the situation and do my best. I have no nerves. I'm nerves of steel when he does stuff like that because he's so relaxed. It's part of his personality, and he can step in at any moment, be him, and, you know, carry the team, continue the game as a backup quarterback. And that's why he's a natural backup quarterback. That is what's in his game that makes him a backup quarterback, in my opinion. And from what other sportscasters have said, it looked like Minshew was a little scared out there. It looked like he was ready to leave the pocket because he knew he needed to make yards, and he wasn't willing to take any shots downfield unless the wide receiver was wide open. Every time he took a shot to more than 15 yards is because the wide receiver was wide open. Or the one to Jacoby Myers where he just overthrew Turner, and Jacoby Myers smart enough to stop his route and run a different route to go backwards and get the ball. But that's the Minshew stuff. That's the Minshew magic that happens for him sometimes. But you don't rely on that to win games. And I'm not expecting that to happen next game either. If I turn on the TV and at first down I see Minshew in the shotgun on our first possession, I'm just gonna sit back and watch the bad happen because it doesn't work like that for Minshew. It won't work like that for us, and we're not built to win like that. We're built to win through rushing, play action, shots deep, and shotgun when we need it. Not shotgun Minshew the whole damn game. That's not what I signed up for. That's not what's going to be efficient. And that's not what I'm going to expect to be victorious. Until we turn it into the 12-man offense, whether it's Aiden or Minshew, I'm not expecting anything too much in the way of victories. I'll root for it. I think even if we don't get victories, like I said before, we have such a young team that all of this is growing pains. So the more adversity, the harder it is, the more they got to step through the rough stuff, the better it is for our team. We got so many players. Over half our roster is 3 years and under. 90% of our roster is 6 years and under as far as being in the league. So I'm not going to panic as far as the Raiders franchise over Gardner Minshew being shotgun Gardner and throwing the game away, because it's not his fault. You make him do something that he can't do. And he's aware of that. And you guys change the whole damn offensive scheme to customize around what Minshew can do, and he doesn't even do that well. Then what? So, I'm not worried. I'm not even upset. I figure like it was an experiment. They just need to know, would this work, because of how we feel about our offensive line. And if experiment went horribly wrong. And we still almost won the game. The defense had it in such control that we still almost won the game. 2 plays, 2 long runs, and that was the difference. That's the reason why they were able to get into the end zone. 2 long plays in the second half of the fourth quarter, and that's what won the game for them. Why? Because they stuck to the run. Why didn't we stick to the run? Because we stuck to the shotgun. We stayed in too much shotgun. We didn't get any flow for the run, and we expected Gardner Minshew to be something that he's never been, and there's no reason to think that he could be it, no matter how many weapons he has around him. So it's fine. We lost one. Next week we might lose two, you know. But until we put the right product on the field, I'm not going to trip. Till we put what I'm looking for on the field, I'm not worried about how things are going. Because I think once we get to what we're supposed to be doing, we'll be churning it out. And I got the keys still. The Aiden bandwagon is still warmed up. We primed. Because it's still coming. Just because he's not starting doesn't mean a damn thing. There'll be a time when we look back and Gardner Minshew starting over Aiden O'Connell and it'll be like a joke. Like, what the hell were we thinking? I can't believe that even happened. Seriously. And we know I'm all up on Aiden, so of course I'm going to project the most positive outcome for his career. But I can say this, like I said last year. Once Aiden gets on the field, Gardner Minshew's not getting back on the field. With that being said, and his performance yesterday, I don't see him earning a position or see him playing well enough to earn the starting position for the remainder of the season. So, with that being said, even if we do start going with the 12 personnel and we have Gardner Minshew in there and it's not successful, I'm not going to trip. That's me. Unless, because if Gardner Minshew is successful, then great. Because he's supposed to be successful in the 12 personnel and play action and doing what we're supposed to do as an offense that we designed this whole thing about that we've been saying we're going to do since we drafted Brock Bowers, and we saw none of that. So, Getsky has to go back to whatever the plan was originally, run those plays, and try to win with what we have the talent to win for. Using the talent we have to win with the offense and plays that you should be calling. So, I think us here, knowing how long the season is, we shouldn't be worried. We almost won the game with a bunch of Minshew mistakes and Zeus fumbling the ball, and we were still, a touchdown away from winning. If we'd have scored a touchdown before they did, it's hard to see. We would have had a chance to stop them from scoring a touchdown, and we hadn't been stopping them from scoring the whole game until they got those two late breaks. So we're good. We're a good team. We're solid. Once we get the offense going to what it's supposed to be, I believe we'll be successful. Why they kept trying what they were trying the first game, I don't know. But when they start doing what they're supposed to do the way they're supposed to do it, and then that doesn't work, then, that's when our hopes for the season aren't as high. Till then, my hopes are still high. So, that's how I feel about that. And speaking of the 4th and 1, like I'm going into with Aiden, questioning Antonio Pierce's decision to go for it and not go for it on whichever 4th and 1s there were. I wish they would just put that down, because that's neither here nor there. Everybody's opinion is a different one. Anyone can say you shouldn't have done it on Monday. In a situation, who would, anyone would do what he did. Who would go to the well 3 times? Someone would, and someone wouldn't. So just because someone on Monday says that they would have gone for it doesn't mean on on Sunday in the heat of the game that that's what they were going to call. Because we've been taken down by our offense before on 4th and 1, and he just said, "Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me a third time, they're going to yell at me." Okay, let's try. Our defense is what we was winning with. That was our most positive side of our team in this game. So we're going to go with our best side of the football this game. Try to pin them even deeper. Give us an even shorter field because we haven't been able to do anything with a field over 50 yards. And the one time we did get something done is because the running back is just a film addict, and he knew exactly what was coming when he saw the whoever it was, a cornerback or a safety coming in to make the tackle. I mean, this is sidebar. This is how smart these people are and how much film they work. He said, as soon as I saw him coming, I was watching an interview. He said, as soon as I saw him coming, I saw his number, I knew who it was and how he tried to tackle. And so when I saw him get low and square his hips up towards me, I knew he was going to go for my knees. And I hurled and I jumped as soon as his hips went down. And that's why I was able to get open. Bust through. Incredible. The players are smart. They got to do a lot of film watching. There's a lot going into it. Right? So what we got wasn't really because of the offense. It was because of what that player was able to do. How he made it happen for himself, and it helped us as a team. So it wasn't successful. We will be successful. We will not have the same issues with 4th and 1 coming to the future because I think they're going to fix it. And once Aiden gets in there, if we don't fix it with Minshew, then we won't have any problem with Aiden. And I believe Aiden will come in before the season falls apart. And once Aiden comes in, he's not going to come back out because if they let Minshew finish out this quarter, if they let Minshew go all 4 of these games, Minshew may end up 1-3 because he needed this win to start out. And the Ravens, everybody's pretty much chalking that up as a loss. They want to win, they need a win, and they're a better team than we are, just straight up, So that's a high hill to climb, and we're aware of that. So then we got to beat the Panthers, and he has to beat the Browns, and the Browns are here or there. There's a good chance they got a strong defense. It's not, top 10, but maybe it is top 10. It's up there. So we're going against 3 defenses that are definitely in the top half of the league in 4 weeks. And Gardner Minshew in the shotgun is not going to win those games. And if those games do go that way, once those losses pile up, they're going to put in Aiden. And really, no matter what, they're going to be afraid to go back to Minshew. Aiden has to be just extremely terrible. He has to be, 0-4. Basically, he has to have a worse record than Minshew. And if Minshew goes 3-1 or worse still, then there's no pressure to have a better record than Minshew. So things are actually working out in Aiden's favor because of this. It's not working out in the Ravens' favor, which is what I would rather have. But with that, and with what happened, and knowing that what happened probably won't come back again, hopefully won't come back again as our offensive strategy, we should feel good about knowing we almost won the game with a bad offensive strategy going against the grain of what we worked on the whole daggone summer to make our offense fit around Gardner Minshew's talents. Let's make our offense fit around the talents that we've accumulated, right? And go forth with that. Hit or miss. Sacks or no sacks. Let's play the game we planned on playing and go all the way forward. So, we don't have to panic. I don't have to panic. And that's the way I feel about it. And I really didn't think it was going to go this long, but once again, this is a 30-minute show. With season coming on, I believe that I'll have more to speak on because each day presents more conversation because there's just so much to talk about. I didn't realize how much is going on during the season and how much I could talk. So this might become a longer show. Put down in the comments if you be like, no, just try to keep it 15 and I'll stay on script. But if y'all good with this, I'm good with it too. And let's have fun with it. Stay positive. Okay? It's nothing for to panic about. This team that we watched, that's not the Raiders that we've been promised. There's no reason to get upset with it. It's like you got home, you start driving the car around, say, wait a minute, I'm going to ask for a Lincoln. This is not what I asked for, so I'm not worried that I don't like the way it drives. Of course I don't like it. This is not what I wanted. When I take it back and get the car I wanted, if I don't like the way that drives, then I'm going to be upset. Then I'm going to be like, we got to figure out a different car. Because I thought this was a better car than it is. But for now, this is the wrong vehicle. Let's wait till we trade it in. Then we see how it runs. So, remember, we're not going to win them all. Right? And you can't win them all. And the cars will get dark. But when you're looking for something bright, come to the silver lining. Guru out.